Welcome in, my friends, to another episode of 5 Minutes with Sean, maybe 10. I'd like to start today off by saying Happy Memorial Day and thank you to everyone in our armed services. We truly appreciate all that you do. Those that fighting and those that we've lost, thank you so much. Hopefully everyone's having a great day. You might not even be seeing the show today as it is Memorial Day, and some of you have the day off, which is excellent. But in the idea of Memorial Day and kind of this idea of being in battle, if you will, I started to think a lot recently, given some things that have happened at our company. This idea of grudges, right? And so personal grudges, I think, are something that are personal, and I think people can have those and do whatever they want with them. But from a business perspective, when you think about business grudges, I would warn anyone against keeping them, because I think there's a lot to be said about being open-minded and seeing if things change. Now, please don't confuse this with not liking or trusting or wanting to do business with someone. That is completely different than what I'm talking about. What I'm talking to you about is I'm talking about a grudge, someone who you feel has potentially wronged you, right? And now you don't want to do business with them, either hiring them at your dealership, working with them as a vendor, whatever the case is. The grudge is there, the hearts and feelings take over, and the brain kind of gets put to the backseat. So my examples recently in life, I had a client who was the first client we ever had on our service that we call vendor management. He's client 001. And after 2.5, almost 3 years of working together, he came and he canceled us. And initially, I was pretty shitty about it. Salty is the word we like to use around my house. And I was thinking to myself, why would someone do this? The value is there, this was there, and it ended kind of nasty. And look, my job is to be honest with people. That's my job. That's why I was put on this earth. And that is not popular in most cases, especially if you catch someone on a bad day, right? Which I did, which led to my being let go from that organization. Fast forward almost 12 months later, this particular owner came back to me and said, "My bad, will you have me back?" And initially I kind of put it off. I said, I'm not. We were in the middle of a lot of other acquisition, a lot of other things were going on. I thought, I'm not going to worry about it. Then I started to think more about it, and I thought, what am I pissed off about? Because someone canceled me? Because someone talked shit about me? Because someone was rude to me? That is what happened for sure. But was it enough to not do business with someone again? Full well knowing that you needed to reset expectations, right? I think a lot of people forget that. If you are in a grudge situation, you do think about going back into business with someone that you have a grudge with. Let me tell you something. You want to reset expectations if you're going to do it. So I reset expectations, owner accepted, we move forward, okay? Same thing happened with the original dealer group I worked for in Colorado. When I started this company, this is kind of a 2-in-1 for you here. When I started this company, I was being sued by my previous employer. They told me I couldn't work in the 4-state radius that I lived. So I said, you know what? Why don't we go back to where we started, back to Colorado. Let's talk to the folks we know. Let's see if they'll all take a chance on us. They said no. They said, no, we got a guy. Me, right? I was the guy for them for a long time. And they still said no. So for years, man, I let that and other things that had happened with that group upon my exit really fester and sort of take over. I wrote this down. I took a picture a long time ago. My mom is someone who's always told me not to hold grudges. And I took a picture of a sign. My wife and I were out driving around. It says, holding a grudge is letting someone live rent-free in your head. Man, I love that. And that's what it brought me back to when I was thinking about this dealership group, thinking, man, these guys are occupying headspace. They don't know it. They don't give a shit. Why do you care? So I let it go about a year ago. I started having, just light conversations with some of the guys that work there and just kind of putting it back of mind, not letting it be a thing. Well, here we are about 2 months ago. They reach out to me and they're interested in my help. Wow. I couldn't believe it. And the only reason I think that it happened is because I allowed myself to be open to the idea of it happening. And the twofold there is that company that sued me, that bullshit, weak-ass move by those people. Here's the thing about it. My company 6 years later is a success because of shit like that. Because that's what drives me, right? A $1 billion company scared of one dude going off on his own. That's laughable shit to me. Very funny. However, over time, I realized this is business. This is how corporate bullshit works. Okay? That's how the corporate animal goes about its life. So that's why I don't do it anymore, right? I made a conscious decision to get out of the corporate world. But since then, I've tried to establish relationships with some people. Some folks in that organization are open to it. Others, not so much. Not so much. But every time we see each other in public, I get a hug and a how you doing. I'm watching what you're doing from a distance. So I know everybody's watching. I like that. I do. Because that's how these things happen. You see, when you're open to change, when you're open to letting those things go, you find success. And so this kind of takes me to the end of the episode, because next week on the show, you're going to see a sit down with one Sean Rains. And any of you who know Sean Rains or know his story knows homeboy could hold quite a grudge if he wanted with his ex-employer. They know who they are. They know what they've done. We talk about it on the show. Everyone gets it out there. And I air some real shit about what happened to me in my corporate's part. We talk a lot about the non-compete clause next week. It's really important to us that people hear that message, because if you're an entrepreneurial spirit and you currently work for a corporation, double check you didn't sign one of those dumb things, because if you did, you need to make appropriate moves, make sure they don't come back and screw you, because they will. All right? So guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Enjoy your Memorial Day. After you watch the episode, 262-278-0157. It's been brought to my attention. I'm the only one in the podcast world who gives you my personal cell phone. Hey, I'm happy to do it. Give me a call. Remember, you'll find us all over Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We're on everywhere you can find a podcast. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy your holiday weekend.